Okay, so we were talking about making a contact list, right? So use a memory jogger. We give you a memory jogger on your to-do list as well. So use it. Now, along with that, we'll follow 4 simple steps. That's it. You master these 4 steps, you will learn how to invite people, what kind of people to look for when you're looking at your business, okay? Now, you don't have to do it all by yourself. That's the key. It's always teamwork. You don't have to do it all by yourself. It's always teamwork, okay? So let's start with the first one, the telephone call, okay? Now, here's the thing. You're about to present your prospects with the world's greatest opportunity, so be excited. That's very important. Excitement is, it's like inviting a friend for a weekend movie or a weekend dinner, right? You're pretty excited about it, right? It comes naturally. It should come. If it doesn't come, find out what is there that will excite you about the business. Remember the burning desire? What is it? Your dreams. Look at them, visualize them, and get excited. Before you pick up the phone and talk to people, get excited. If you're excited, it's going to happen. If you're not excited, everything I mentioned will be a disaster. Right? If you're confused, if you're not sure, people will see that in you. People will hear that in your voice. Make sense? Be excited. Alright? That's the key. Now what do? Invite your prospects for the meeting. The first thing you do is you invite them for the meeting. Don't tell them the income plan on the phone. Alright? A lot of people try and get through their prospects telling as much as they can so that they can show up. Don't do that. I've seen people, because I don't drive over here, I've seen people who pick me up and they are actually inviting people and sharing the income plan. Oh my God, don't do that. If you're driving, don't be prospecting unless you're a top leader who does it like that, who's done it 1,000 times before, okay? So invite them for the meeting. Now how do you invite them for the meeting? That's the idea, right? Everyone has 24 hours. People will tell you, I'm busy. Right? The most common thing you will hear, I'm busy. Now here's the meaning of I am busy. What you're telling me is crap. I'm not interested in knowing about it. That's the meaning of I'm busy. Why? Why are they busy? Did God give them less hours in a day to give you more? Same 24 hours, so how come they be busy? Busy means they have more important things in life to do. So here are 2 answers to it. Either you're telling them the wrong things, either you're talking to the wrong people. That's it. There's no third option here. Either you're telling them the wrong things, or either you're talking to the wrong people. So if you feel you're telling them the wrong things, change your approach. Busy, okay, let me come back to you. Right? So that's what you do. Because if you feel that A, B, C and everything is there, boom, you change your approach. You want them in your business. Because if you don't, someone else will take them anyways. And you don't want to bump into them, hey, you know what? You were busy, huh? Today you have joined Smart Media and someone else. So see, there you go. So invite them for the meeting. But this is what you do. Do not explain them anything on the telephone, like I said. Don't start telling them, oh, this is Smart Media. Yeah, this is this. Don't tell them much, right? The bottom line is create curiosity and urgency. That's the key. Now remember, we are on step 1, the telephone call or bumping into people, or you met them on Facebook or Skype. Create curiosity. Now how do you create curiosity? How do you create curiosity? I'll give an example. A movie? Big budget movies come up with something called as a trailer. Right? And what do? Create curiosity. Enough for you to go and check. See, isn't it? Now, we're not going to do a trailer here, but the idea is, the concept is, the psychology is to create curiosity. Okay? I'll teach you that today. Sell them the meeting. You don't need to sell them the income plan. You don't need to sell them Smart Media on the phone. Sell them the meeting. Do whatever it takes to get them to the meeting, wherever that is. Will that be easy? No. Right? So how do you do that? Hold on. Do not get into answering questions. If they ask you a question, let them know that you don't want to spoil it for them and they have to see it for themselves to believe in it. How about that? Okay? So why? Because once they're excited, they want the answer in 5 minutes. And that's what you're not going to give them. It's like if someone is walking with a pebble in the shoes, they won't walk properly, isn't it? They'll stop, take out the shoes, take out the pebble. That's what curiosity does. That's what you do here. You don't get into answering questions. So where is the company from? Is this an M&M and all that? Don't get into answering questions. Okay? I'll give an example of that. You can also share some testimonials that you have heard from other Smart Media members. Genuine stories sell. I actually sold Michelle's story, and I was showing that to Harun today on someone else's post. That's one of Jenny's group. Boy, it sells. It's a genuine story. Remember the picture, Michelle, you gave me of your house? Guess what? A lot of people in the group got inspired by that. Remember we started with 2 people or 4 people, I don't remember, and there was no place to sit in your house. Stories sell. Okay? Because you know why they sell? Because you've seen it happen. Now you've seen me, right? Knowing 2 people and building a multi-million-dollar business. Think about it. How crazy is that? All right. Now, how do you create curiosity? Okay. What is the strength of smart media that you have today that you can go and share with people? Remember 2 things. What you say is important. But more important, how you say it is. Make sense? How you say it is more important. People will either think you're crazy or you're damn serious. That's how you have to say it. Alright? And again, it comes if you're excited. Did anyone give you a script on how to invite people for a good movie on a weekend? Or to go and have good food? Create curiosity. Build excitement. Because when people see you excited, they'll think of 2 things. Are you okay? Something wrong? Or they will listen to you. Okay? Now let's take an example. One of the strengths of smart media is that they pay you when you are on the internet for pay-per-clicks. You know that. Now, if you're going to tell them, if you're going to tell your prospects, just like what I just told you right now, guess what? They probably will hang up on you. What? What pay-per-click are you talking about, right? So what do? How do you create curiosity? The best way I found creating curiosity is by asking questions. The right questions. Okay? Now, what are the right questions? For example, let's just look at someone, let's just talk about Michelle here. So if I'm talking to Michelle, let's say, so my first question to Michelle would be, if I know Michelle uses internet, I'm going to ask that question. Hey Michelle, this is Tyre. Is this a good time to talk to you? By the way, do you use internet? And she'll be like, of course, what do you mean? I use internet, right? If I know Michelle uses Facebook, I'll ask that question. Hey Michelle, do you use Facebook, by the way? Of course, you're on my friend list. You know, she'll probably think I'm so dumb, you know. So that's what you want to do. You start with a dumb question, right? And then what you do is you keep your bazookas ready, okay? Now, that's the curiosity part. When was the last time you got paid for being on the internet? What do you mean? I pay for being on the internet. I don't get paid for it, right? That's what people will answer. People will say, what are you talking about? Who pays you for being on the internet? When was the last time you got paid when you were on Facebook? And you have to be very, very, very serious about it. Make sense? Never, right? You know the answer. You know, the best part is you ask only those questions to which you know the answers. The answer is never. In fact, we have a telephone script, okay, which you get with the to-do list. So you get with the toolkit. So make sure you have the toolkit. That's just one telephone script. You can come up with many more ideas. Ask the right questions. They're like, oh wow, really? Great. Oh, never. Would you like to know more? Would you like to, when they ask you like, I never got paid, would you be interested if you could? How? That's what you're waiting for. How? The moment they ask how, remember one thing, you've created the curiosity. They'll ask you for probably 10 more questions after that. Why? Because you just got their attention. Make sense? Now, once you've created the curiosity, the next thing you want to do is not give them all the answers. I'll tell you how. We have an add-on, you download that. The guy's like, okay, that's too complicated. I'm not an IT guy. Thank you very much for calling me. No, you don't do that, right? After you've created curiosity, what do? Be fair. If you watch a movie and go here and tell your friend about it in 10 minutes, do you think it will do justice to that movie? It won't. So what do? Cancel. Yeah, good. So you invite them here. That's what you do. Alright? If they want to know more, invite them here. And every time they ask you a question, this is the answer or something on those lines. If this curiosity is not enough, build their curiosity. One thing I don't do on a telephone call is give them the name of the company. The ones who are good on the internet will go and search and make their own decisions. Don't give them that. What's the name of the company? It's a US-based company. I want to keep that as a surprise. What will they do? Right? You want to get paid? You're serious about it? come on, let's meet up over a cup of coffee. You don't have to tell them, can you please come for a 1-hour presentation which will be presented by Mr. Harun? Don't need to do all that. Right? If you want to sell Harun or Michelle or anyone, then you sell them. You should know their story. See? Sell them the meeting. How do you sell the meeting? By talking about the presenter. That's one way. That is what's going to interest them. Right? So build curiosity. If they're like, come on, tell me something more. Michelle is telling me, come on, tell me something more. Hey, they pay you on a weekly basis in US dollars. Is that good? Boy, I just made Michelle more excited. Oh, tell me more. Come on, Michelle, let's have a cup of coffee. All I need is 1 hour of your life. Be dramatic about it. Can you give me that?
Yes.
There we go. That sells. Just put them off. That's just one method, by the way, for someone who uses internet. Now let's look at another scenario. Students. Right? A lot of students are in our network. So let's say if some student comes up and says that I'm interested. Interested. You have to approach this student, right? I'll give you a real example. I met a guy and he was giving one of my leaders a very hard time to come and see him. So he was. So my guy said, "Hi, can you talk to this guy?" I said, "Okay, tell me a little background about him." Civil engineering, that's what he's doing. Very bright student, wants to start his own business and all that, but he won't come. I said, okay. I took the phone, I spoke to him, his name is Shahid. So I asked him, Shahid, is this a good time to talk to you? That's the first question I always ask, because otherwise he'll just be shouting, the guy's not in the right state of mind. Is this a good time to talk to you? Yes, what is this about? This is about your internship. Really? Yeah, I'm basically with a US-based company, and what they do is they actually teach you by having their own university, and every time you go and do a course through their university, you actually get paid for it. Guess what? He wanted to meet me right at that time. He says, I'm very interested. Why? Because I knew his background. He's a studious and he's interested. Another case. Hey, the students pretty much use internet, right? So some studious students the education will appeal to them. So you are telling me that you've got your own university, American company, and you will actually pay me. Yes? Would you be interested to know? Yeah, sure. How? They'll have to meet me for that. Where are you? So we were able to meet. He wanted to meet me right there and then. I said, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I'll be able to meet you tomorrow. A guy who couldn't take out time for a month was ready to meet next day. Create curiosity. Right? Who else? Parents? Right? So if you know a parent who's spending money on the children's education and who doesn't, which parent doesn't, right? If you're talking to them, hey, I couldn't help noticing, let's say I'm talking to Tom. Hey Tom, I couldn't help noticing you spend so much money on your kids' education, which is wonderful. You know what? I came across this company. They provide over 2,000 educational courses for free, including Yale and Stanford. Aha. So how do I get it? The question is how. The how can come in different manners, right? How, the moment they say how, hey, why don't we discuss this over a cup of coffee? Make it simple, or on a weekend, or over drinks, whatever it is, right? Keep it simple. The idea is what? What are you doing on step 1? Most people mix step 1, 2, 3, 4 together. That's where the challenge is. You do one step at a time. When you're prospecting, you're prospecting. You're not presenting, you're not following up, you're not signing up. These are the 4 steps. Telephone call, prospecting, presenting, following up, sign up. People mix all of them sometimes together, and then as a result, the prospect is confused, doesn't want, wouldn't come, right? So you're still pitching. You know what? If people say no to you, to any of your questions, and if they are important, you find a different approach. Find a different approach. Doesn't work, maybe this business is not for them. Maybe the time is not right for them, but you don't beat yourself about it. Next, you move forward. That's what this invitation is all about. So you're talking to a parent, right? So I'm talking to Tom. Tom, hey, you've been spending a lot of money on your kids' education. Hey, this company is giving over 2,000 courses for free, which also includes Yale and Stanford University. And I thought about you. Would you be interested to know more over a cup of coffee when you're free on a weekend? Keep it casual. They're your friends, right? So keep it casual. Keep it natural. Here's the idea. The idea is to help people. The idea is to help people. And how are you going to help them? By hitting that particular point which will appeal to them. If you're trying to sell a comb to a guy who's bored, what are the chances? Yeah? And I'll just give you a few tips on how to create what? Create curiosity. That's it. If they can't and if they're worth it, you go and do the presentation. You get your sponsor to do it. If your sponsor can't come, you learn how to do it. When I was doing presentation in Penang and then I had to come to KL, Kevin told me, oh, this guy is not good in presenting. I said, great, you come up and you do it, right? But that's the only thing. There's no point complaining if you don't want to step up. Most people do that. Take responsibility. Remember, you are the CEO of this company. And your business starts from under. That's it. Anything that happens in your business is your business. You're the CEO. So not your upline, not your sponsor is responsible. They were responsible for showing you. Isn't that grateful enough already? Of the 18 million people, you're the first 8,000 who actually are a part of it. That's less than 0.001%, you know that? Or still a part of smart media. Isn't that good enough already? Take responsibility, move forward. That's called building curiosity. Well, I'm not going to go through the telephone script, but here's the point. Excitement, enthusiasm on fire is better than knowledge on ice. Now, why am I telling this to you? Because a lot of people, this is what they do. They're like, oh, no, I'm not going to talk to people now. I didn't understand the team commission. I didn't understand direct. I didn't understand that. They're scared of talking to people. It's not that they didn't understand. No one understands. Did you understand all the 14 plans in the first 45 minutes? Anyone? Well, it took me a month to understand that, right? So no one understands that on day one. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and talk to people. Why? Make sure if you are hesitant, your sponsor is there with you. Your upline is there with you, because when you make mistakes, they'll correct you. Don't do it alone. Some people are very natural in talking on phone. Some people have telephone phobia. They just won't pick up the phone and talk to people. If you're one of them, get your sponsor there. Sit with them. 2 people are better than 1. Remember that. Okay? Alright? And if your sponsor is not a upline, you should at least know 5 people, which I'll talk about in a while. But if you're excited, the words will come. Make sense? So don't be fear-driven. You will die. Be excited, be confident, believe in it, whatever that takes, whatever that means, and then move forward. Okay? A lot of people say, I've seen this before. So get your points. If you meet those kind of people, you get your points right. I was talking to someone from India, and I was telling Harun about it today. He says, are you ISO approved? And I'm like, excuse me? ISO approved? We don't have to be. So here's what I tell people. 4 points. You want to know if a company is good or bad? 4 points. Point number 1, more than 80% businesses in US collapse in their first 5 years. Right? Less than 4% businesses do a gross of over $1 million. Gross of over $1 million. And 1/16 of that, 4%, actually make it big in the first 10 years. Okay? So these are complicated facts. So here's the bottom line. Point number 1. How long has the company been there? 2008 till date. Well, if they were scammed, they would have closed. Or, better, could you tell me one scam company that has lasted since 2008? I'm listening. Won't find one. Okay, point number. So the idea is to create awareness at the same time. Now, why will you do this? Because the guy is ABC, or he's important on your list. He's important to your business. You choose your people. You just don't go after everyone. You choose your people who are important and then work on getting them. And remember Rocky's story of getting his dog back? He never gave up. I think he tried around 22 times. Never gave up. All right? Paid $25,000 to get his dog back. How bad he wanted is important. Okay? All right. So, point number 1. The company has been there since 2008. Point number 2. How many digital companies from the country of origin are actually registered by from the country? Smart Media is a registered company by the US government. Point number 2, pretty strong document. A lot of people come and tell me, oh, come on, I've seen this. I give them the next question. Okay, can you show me 10 companies, digital companies with something similar registered from the country of origin? 10 companies, come on. Less than 1% companies you'll find are registered. Less than 1% digital companies. We're talking about digital virtual product here, right? So that's point number 2. Point number 3, How many of those registered companies have a certificate of good standing given by the US government? You know what that means? If you have a company in Malaysia and your government gives you a certificate of good standing, in Dubai, how you get it is that you actually have to go to the police head office, okay, you have to give your fingerprints, they check the database, they check your bounce checks, they check if you have frauded in anything, and then you get certificate of good standing. That's how you get that certificate, which is proudly displayed on the Smart Media website. Point number 3. Okay, good enough till here? And how many companies you can think of? Point number 4, for IT people, technology people. From a technology point of view, we have something that no one else in the world has ever built. Good enough to get some IT guys excited? Come and see it for yourself. 4 points. On point number 4, sometimes I elaborate. Technology companies never make it 5 years. So many people come and tell me, you know what technology, oh my God, you know, online companies never make it. I said, you're right. Less than 2% companies online ever make it big. Do you know that? But the ones who make it big are Facebook, Google, YouTube, Yahoo, Wikipedia, LinkedIn. They're billion-dollar companies, multi-billion-dollar companies. That's what happens to the big companies. Good enough? So if someone comes and tells you about scam, this is how you answer them. In fact, I've got a nice, in our Smart Media Members Club on Facebook, which is by the way a part of To-Do List. Look at the pictures, you will see that I've got a nice difference between a genuine company and a money scam. Clearly, these differences are there. Without mentioning the word Smart Media. So anyone can take that as a guideline and use it. By the way, in your Smart Media magazine, if you don't have one, you should get the toolkit. Now, Smart Media magazine, on the second last or the third last page, it is there. You're not using the word scam, it's a negative word. That what are the qualities you've seen in people versus Smart Media. Okay, all right. So that's one other statement there. All right, let's go forward. So that's step 1, telephone call. How to create curiosity. Step 2, the meeting. Now, the first thing you should do is, please do this. This is very important. Make sure you know 5 people who are in your upline. If you don't know, you should. Okay? Go to your sponsor, go to your upline. And if you can't find them, just come back to Harun or to me. Simple as that. You need to know 5 people who are in your upline, who will be responsible for helping you build your business. If someone is not there, someone else will be there. See, team commissions is all about coordinating with people. If you are effective in coordinating, you'll have the biggest network. Not the skills, effectiveness. Okay? Now make sure you know the dates and timings of your meetings, presentations, trainings, events, etc. For example, in this office, we do 4 presentations every week. Monday, Wednesday is Bahasa by the way, Friday and Sunday. All at sharp 8:30. Okay? Wednesday is Bahasa, and we have got a timetable of that in the to-do list. In the tools kit. And by the way, trainings, this is a special session, otherwise we do our trainings on Saturday, 4 o'clock in the evening. Alright, for this group. Make sure you have reconfirmed your appointment with your prospects on the day of the meeting. Reconfirm, it takes only 10 seconds to call them or message them to check if they're coming or not. Alright? Reconfirm. Why? It helps you from not being disappointed. They might have genuinely got busy or got stuck with something and you might have just reminded them again. Again, when you remind them, what do? You hit on their curiosity. What got them interested in the first place? Don't try and convince. Most people I've seen in real life doing Smart Media, they try and convince them. They look like sales agents, you know. When prospects look at them, they're like, oh my God, what is this guy trying to sell me? Don't do that. Be natural. Alright, just as you would invite them for a movie. There we go. Alright. Be attentive during the meeting. There's always something new to learn. So while a meeting is going on, don't play on your phone. I'm so excited I'm playing on my phone. It doesn't work. Your prospect is noticing. If you have attended the presentation 5, 10 times, sit there. Watch the presenter. There must be something new you can learn. When I was at the age of 19 earning $3,000, someone asked me that, Tahir, how can you present to people? Did you attend any training? And I said, no. I said, I did one thing. I was taught in school to take out a diary and start taking notes. I did that. I did that. Did it so often, it became a habit. Same goes with my trainings. Same goes with my presentations. The more you practice them, the more better you get. But don't be not excited in front of your prospect. Don't distract, because he or she will get distracted. Listen to them. Look out for them. They might be nervous in a room of 50 people, just in case, right? Okay, so be attentive during the meeting. Be excited throughout the meeting as excitement is contagious. We've covered that. Ask your prospects if there are any questions they would like to get answered at the end of the meeting. In fact, at the end of the meeting, what you should do is, if it's here or anywhere else, after the presentation, you sit down with them for a while. 5-10 minutes. Let them relax. You may not start asking questions immediately. Some will, most of them won't. Most of them will be like, oh, okay. Then you start asking questions, which I'll cover in the follow-up section. But most importantly, thank them for their time as a common courtesy, right? Alright, so that's where we're done. Dress up for success while attending the meeting. First impression can sometimes be the last impression. Be professional enough when you meet them. That's very important. Okay? Alright. The next is the follow-up. Now here's the point on the follow-up. More than 90% people fail over here in the follow-up. Okay? I mean, the 90% who made it did this far. Fail on follow-up. There are a lot of people, like what you mentioned, who fail even in prospecting and inviting people. So let's look at the follow-up. In the follow-up, the first thing is timing is critical. Timing is very important. Timing is everything. So what do we mean by follow-up? Now here's an idea. Psychologically, a lot of people, when they get started with smart media, they believe that the prospects will come running with the credit cards. Guess what? It doesn't work that way. The reason they think like that is because they don't feel comfortable. Someone told me that I don't feel comfortable asking my prospects for money. And I'm like, oh, so they will put the money in your bank account, is it? And you don't plan on giving smart media. They start laughing. No. I said, then, psychologically, what you're doing is wrong. They're actually purchasing something worth that much. And guess what? If you don't know, go back to your toolkit. I've made a list of all the items that you get for 400, 200, 130. See what those items are. What the value is, which I'm not going to cover today, of course. So that's very important, because if you don't know the value, guess what if your prospect asks you that question? So what am I getting for $400? Your answer would be, I have no idea. So if you, and here's the thing, if you don't know an answer when you're following up, you know what you should do? Make sure your upline, your sponsor is there. Alright, and if you don't know the answer, that's okay. Most of the people feel that they should know all the answers. Remember, I told you that a lot of people feel that knowledge is more important than excitement. It's not. Excitement is more important. Why? Because if you don't have the knowledge, you can still call someone, right? Most people think that they have to impress their prospects. No, you don't have to. By impressing your prospects, you're just showing one thing. They have to learn everything as well. No, the message is different, which I'll talk about in a while, okay? So here's the thing. You follow up right after the presentation because they might be interested. All you have to do is ask the question or within the 48 hours. Now, you have to follow with your prospects within the next 48 hours. Human psychology is usually negative. If you give your prospects more time, they will find reasons why this business isn't good enough for them. Follow while the excitement is still there. You called them, you were excited. They came here. They showed some success stories were shared. Now, if you leave them, now remember, it could be a yes or a no, but don't leave them hanging. So what are you looking for? Get a yes or a no. What we don't want is a maybe. Let me think about it. Your prospect can say, let me think about it. If it's my friend, I'm going to push him. I'm going to push him for his good, not because I want my $150. You see, if your intention is not, you want to earn money out of them, automatically your heart will start working. Just use me for that. Sorry for that. All right. So again, okay, while following up, ask the right questions. Now this is very important. Now, what are the wrong questions? What are the wrong questions? Were you stuck in a traffic jam? Did you get parking? How was the presenter? Was the room too cold or too hot? You don't want to ask all these questions. Or about politics or about how the family life is. No. If you're going to follow up, you better follow up. Focus. You follow up on that point, right? Now how do you do that? Ask the right questions. Is there anything they need further explanation on? The prospects might have some doubts, like we just shared one. What if it's a scam? Oh, online companies don't last very long. They are frauds. So ask the question. Can they see themselves making money with us? Don't sell. Let them buy. There's a huge difference between going and selling someone and letting them buy. Why? Because you're not a sales guy, are you? Here, no. We are in a business where we build people. How is that for an answer? Can you imagine you are going to earn a passive income for the rest of your life from these guys? It's not a one-time sale. Done, next. No. You're going to build them, right? So take the effort to understand their needs, what they want, what their life is like, or what their need could be, how an extra money could help. And let them see the picture. Hey, could you see how 18 million people in Malaysia use internet and they can actually get paid for it? And we are the first few who had the privilege to know about it. See, you're not selling them. You're making them think what? Positive. You're making them believe they can do it. Okay? Can you see the power of our Jobson? How our Jobson is already changing lives of a million people and growing around the world? Mention that. You see yourself being a part of Jobson. After all, you use Facebook. Now here's the point. Link step number 3 with step number 1. Why did they come in the first place? Get paid for being online? Is that why they came? 2,000 courses? Or whatever the reason was. Passive income, whatever the reason was. Use that reason and you should know that. Because on your contact list, you should put that down. Because after 30, 40 people, you will kind of get messed up. What was the reason for whom? So you put it down. Oh, that's the reason why you came in the first place. Link it over here. In step 1, you showed them it's possible. In step 2, they saw it. In step 3, you're telling them again the same thing. Now you know. Step 1, get paid for being online. Step 2, they see it. Step 3, you follow up. Now can you see how we can get paid? Every time we go on Google, wouldn't you think about it? That I'm earning money and you're not getting paid? You could imagine, and how many friends do you know who use internet, by the way? That's what got them interested. So that's how you follow up. Same question, but do it again. Why? Because they will ask the question themselves. Hey, you know what? This guy was serious. Yeah, it works. And show them. If it's pay-per-click, show them. If it's passive income, follow up. Maybe they want to know how team commissions work. Whatever that is, right? So get them comfortable, get their questions answered. But once their questions are answered, this is what you do. Close them. Again, don't leave them hanging. Close them. Okay. Something else I wanted to share with you when my battery went off. What I wanted to share was the maybes. For example, if someone says, let me think about it. If it's my friend, I'm going to ask him, hey John, what do you want to think about? Or okay, after the presentation, they're like, can you give me your website? My answer would be, of course I can give you my website, but I'm not going to give it to you. Why do you need my website? They're like, so I can study the plan more. Ask me now. On the website, you've got 20, 30 different videos. Unless they're internet savvy and they're really good with internet, then it's an exception. But otherwise, you know the background. Don't a guy who barely uses internet says, oh, give me a website. You're like, come on, you don't need a website. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it. Give it 10 more minutes. You have to spend an hour, 10 more minutes, 1 hour. Sit down with them. Okay. They're like, so many things. You break it down. Make it simple for them. How do you make it simple? Well, that's the company. That's the free program. That's the paid program. That's the income plan. What is your question? What the free program? Okay, so that's free, you know. Can free members, so you categorize it. So you made it easy now. Okay, so I've got the company is out, right? So it's the free, the paid, the income. The free, the paid, the income. That's it. So where are you? What's your down? So you sit down with them. Then they start opening up, isn't it? But you have to be ready to listen. So let them open up. And then you take what they need and put it there. Without overcommitting, without giving them wrong answers. If you don't know the answer, again, be bold enough and tell, you know what, I'm sorry, John, I don't have an answer to this question, but hold on, let me call someone who can answer that for you. Alright? Don't be ashamed about it, because that's what we're taught in schools, you have to know everything. That's what we're taught in corporate, you need to know everything. How can you not know? Right? Here you don't have to, because you're leveraging on other people. If someone accuses you or, you know, kind of makes fun of you, hey, my God, you're going to show me a business and you don't know the answers. Yes. You smile and you say, yes, but I get paid for it. So make it simple. That's how simple the business is. We leverage on other people, right? Okay? So, the closing questions are a yes or a no. Not a maybe, not a paragraph answer. Okay? So what are the closing questions? Hey John, do you know 2 people in the world who would be interested in earning an extra income? Simple question, right? Do you know 2 people who use internet and want to make some extra cash? 2 people, remember. I'm not talking about 80 million people. Someone asked me a question. Mr. Thai, what do you think will happen when 18 million people join smart media? Won't the market get saturated? Wow, okay, this was my answer to that person. I said, Facebook is used by 40% internet users and the CEO is $18 billion rich. Facebook has not got saturated till today. Microsoft didn't get saturated. Nothing gets saturated. Okay, so this is one answer. Anyways, so two people who use the internet. So you bring it down to the basics. Two people. Can you think of two people from 18 million internet users in Malaysia who use internet and can earn money? Would like some extra money? Someone comes and says, "Oh my God, I'm not an IT guy. Can you click a mouse?" Yeah, that's it. The only criteria of doing smart media is knowing how to click a mouse. And then you show them click, paper click, I just got paid. The idea is make it simple. People are good at making things complicated, isn't it? We all do at some point, right? Make it simple, break it down. If it's simple, they will understand. If they understand, they will do it. Does that make sense? That's the art of following up, isn't it? Two people in the world who would love to have a passive income? Depends what bought them in the first place. Link step 1 with step 3 when you're closing them after you've got all the doubts answered. And you will know from the face expression if you've got the doubts answered or not. If they're still doubtful, keep searching. If they want a website, I told you what to do. If they're thinking about it, I told you what to do. Push them a little bit. What do you want to think about? Someone comes and says, I'll go and do a research on this company. They're like, okay, let's do it now. Go and do will be future tense, right? Let's do it now. 4 points, remember, but you need to know all these things, right? These are the 4 points. Boom, boom, boom. Here's the certificate. That's why I keep a registered certificate. Here's the certificate. How old the company has been? Good standing. Tell me, how many companies? And then I always leave them with a question. How many companies do you know who have survived that long and not made it big? Why? Because I've done my research, right? Helps in following up. And then they think, when you ask a question, for example, if I say, how are you doing? You won't say blunt. You're like, I'm doing fine. Whether you tell me or not, your mind starts thinking. Make sense? So when you ask a question, a counter question on their question, by giving them a justification, the mind starts thinking. So what they are now doing is they're convincing themselves. You're not convincing them. Oh, please do it for my sake. Please. No, don't do all of that stuff. Come on, do it. I've done it before, So people who have been involved in MLM companies, I don't know how many of you know people, but they're like, is this an MLM company? Absolutely not. Then what are you? We are a technology company. Oh my God, I'm not good in technology. Can you click a mouse? See? Facebook is a technology company, by the way. Apple is a technology company, by the way. Samsung is a technology company, by the way. Right? So if you can click on your screen, you can use Samsung, right? So that's the idea. You break it down, you make it simple. Okay? Alright. So in the closing question, what are we looking for? Yes or no, right? If the answer to any of the question is yes, congratulate them. Congratulate them. So if John says, yes, I don't do people. Yeah, I know. So hey, John, congratulations. Now you're qualified to do this business. But John didn't even know there was a qualification, right? You're like, oh, really? If there was a qualification. So what you're basically doing with John is you're letting him believe in himself that he can do this business by he saying yes, yes, yes. What do you say? You're asking the question. So ask the right questions. That's why I keep emphasizing on that. And then congratulate him so that his self-morale goes up. And you're not fooling, you're not bluffing. This is as serious as it gets. So now the next question is, what if John says no? What if your prospect says no? No, I don't know two people. People are so skeptical sometimes. They're like, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm not sure this company will last that long. After you've given them everything, there's nothing more you can do. So what do? You take it back from them. Most of us never do that. Most of us think that's rude. No, it's not. It's very important. You showed it to them. It's your job to take it back now. How do you do that? So let's say that one of my friends, John, says, no, Tahir, no. My answer would be, I'm sorry, John, this business is not for you. If you cannot see the potential of being a pioneer, if you cannot see that this company has been there for 5 years and is going to be there for the next 10, at least the next 10 to come, if you cannot see how these Fortune 500 companies made it big and how we are following their footsteps, depend on what you say, I'm sorry, John, this business is not for you. You take it back. Now here's the psychological part. That has it ever happened to you that there's something in your life that you valued, but with time you forgot about it? You took it for granted? And then when you're about to lose it, it gets a whole new meaning. health, for example. Yeah? Oh my God. That's what's going to happen here. And you're taking it back. I'm sorry, John, this business is not for you. You're not qualified to do this business. Say in the nicest, politest way. That's important. Not be harsh. Don't be arrogant. Don't be egoistic about it. Right? Why? Because you don't want to do that. You don't want to insult them and put them on you and you're like, you know what? You stay there. You don't want to do that, right? It's about helping people business. That's what smart media is all about. So what you do is you take it back. When you take it back, you pause. You pause for a few seconds. Now here magic happens. Seriously, magic happens. Now your prospect starts convincing you why he's good for the business. I think I can find 2 people. That shouldn't be difficult. Let me look. So while they are now struggling themselves to get 2 people, they're basically convincing themselves, not you. Because for you, next. You're not going to wait for that and cry about it, right? Next. So but you're going to give them a fair chance, right? So they will start convincing you. The moment they start convincing you, congratulations, John, you are now qualified to do this business. Make sense? Now John is all excited. He didn't believe in it, or maybe he was 50-50, or he's all 100%. Next day he's the one calling you, not you calling him. Hey, why are you sleeping here? Why? Because he's all excited. Make sense? Compared to someone whom you're convincing. Hey, come on, please join the business. Please don't hurt your relationship by forcing someone to do it. So what do? You take it away. No one likes things taken away from them. Take it away. Let them not like it for a while. Let them see what they're losing. Right? One of my leaders used to say that, just try and imagine yourself 5 years, 10 years down the line, right? You got Facebook, or I don't know if Facebook will be there, Google and smart media right there. And what you did was you waited. Can you imagine that? And you waited because you thought that it's not worth $130. It's not worth $400. That's why you waited. Think about it. Think about it. Because how many people actually got a chance to be a part of a Fortune 500 company? So-called to be a Fortune 500 company. Think about it. And that's the chance you have. So maybe that's how you follow up with them. The most important thing about follow-up is be ready to help them from your heart. Go heart to heart. And you'll find they will see that in you. Do you know that we have energies that people can feel? They will feel that energy in you. Your voice, your tone, everything will talk. But don't sell them. And be confident. Whatever you do, be confident. As little as you know, as much as you know, be confident. And be confident that if you don't have an answer, someone else does. Okay? Have faith in your team. Have faith in your upline. Okay? Okay, so we have already done that. If the answer is still no and they are absolutely not interested, ask them for referrals. Very important. So if you spoke to 10 people, you treated them nicely, they said no to you, ask them for 2 referrals. You've got 20 new people to talk to. How can you go out of people? Think about it. One of the biggest leaders that we have in this country, who has got 2,500 people in his network, his sponsor got him through a referral. Real story. Which means if his sponsor didn't get him, didn't ask for that referral, probably would be in someone else's team. You see, if you don't open a door, it will always be closed, and 1,000 more doors could have been opened unless someone else opens it. Right? So you're not the only one there. If you're not going to go and talk to your people first, someone else will. I know brother and sister in 2 different teams. They share with each other. Right? So, and as we grow, your market will get shorter, smaller. So you're the pioneers. So don't miss a single day. Inviting, prospecting. Because you'll find the right people. What do you need? 2 good people at the end of the day? Only $50,000 a week. Team commissions. Right? 2 good people. And they get, right? So that's what it will take. Step 3. The last step, step 4, sign up. Now this is very important. If they're interested, if they say yes, get them in. How do you get them in? By asking them, would they like to pay cash or card? You should know the exchange rates. Every package has a Malaysian ringgit rate. If you don't know, go back to your sponsor, get the rates. What you don't want is, okay, hold on, let me check what the rate is. It's a fixed rate, get those rates, okay? If they're paying credit card, you should know where the form is, at least the basics, right? So, while signing them up, please make sure that the sponsor's username is correct, as this cannot be changed later on. You work hard, someone else takes the commission. You don't want that, right? Make sure. Now, how many people are you going to sign up? 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 people in the lifetime of this business personally? Be there. If they are abroad, Skype, or in a different state, Skype, if they're there with you, be there with them. Remember, it's not a one-time sign-up. It's about helping them build them. Okay? So make sure your username is there, not someone else's username, otherwise they want in someone else's team. After signing them up, take them to the website and show them how the back office works, the tree, the accounting, a few things, not all 40, 50 buttons, just a few things. So when they go home, they can play around with it. Okay? Now the next thing is, make sure you have given them the tools kit, which I've been talking about throughout the training, right? Very important. Without this, you're blind. So if you close your eyes and start walking, what will happen? You'll eventually bump, hurt you yourself, fall. Your tools kit gives you everything, which has the to-do list. Now this is a very important list, and follow that list very closely with them for the first 90 days. Follow-up means when you sit with them, they should have it with them. Because you've got 13 points to cover. Every time they cover a point, you put a tick mark. So you know how much they've covered, how many trainings they've attended, what all they are doing. Do they have their things, and the whole checklist is there. It's very important. 13 points, come on guys. You want to build a multi-billion-dollar business, 13 points means nothing. Again, not tomorrow, not the next evening, in the next 90 days. So do it systematically with them, right? Make sure that they have checked all the boxes on that to-do list as quickly as possible. Some will do it faster than the others, no problem. Everyone can do this business at their own pace, right? So do it with them. Give them a guideline to move forward. So here's summarizing your first 90 days. Tony Robbins says it's in your moments of decision your destiny is shaped. It's true. The moment you decide to do something badly enough, it changes. Like how some of you shared. Jelly said 3,000, you said 500, you said, it changes. But you have to stick with that decision. Tomorrow, day after, a week, till you make it happen. Right? So decide today that you will find out the qualities of successful people. Identify what qualities you have and what qualities you need to improve. Because you will need that. Decide today that you realize why goal setting is important. Like some of you did that. Write down your 30-day and your 90-day goals. And work towards achieving them. Would it be easy? No. Be ready for that. Decide today which strategy works best for you and then work on implementing it. Break down your goal. Direct bonus, cycle bonus. Break it down and see how it's going to work. At least get an idea how it's going to work. Okay? Follow the plan of action very closely for the first 90 days based on your strategy and your goals. And get the desired results. Now something very important here. I'm not saying get the results. I'm saying get the desired results. The results you want. So don't compromise. You see, if your goal is, let's say, $500 by the end of July, now you wouldn't come to know all of a sudden on 29 July, oh my God, I'm not achieving my goal, right? You will know that by the 15th, by the 20th, you can feel the pressure, feel that pressure. Find out what is not working. Go back to your sponsor, go back to someone who has done it before, sit with them. Tell me how does that work. That's why you need to know who your 5 clients are. Okay? Right? Good? And Brian Tracy says it best. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. All that matters is where you're going. You could have been a huge success or a huge failure. It doesn't matter. But today, you have a chance to change yourself. All that matters is where you want to go from here. Right? Now, this is what I'll leave you with today in this training. That today, while you all came here and all those of you who are listening to me, and I'll see if I got this recorded, today there's something very important I took away from all of you. You know what's that? No, something more important. Time. Time is a commodity, but that's not what I took away from you. That's what your choice was. Today, what I took away from you is never in your life again you can complain that you were never given a chance to be financially free. Never in your life again you can say that you were not given a chance to achieve your dreams. Because that I just took away from you today. By sharing with you how you can actually do it. Because a lot of people still out there were never given a chance yet. See, from 18 million internet users, I'm not even talking about the population of Malaysia. If from 18 million internet users, you have 8,000 people right now, there's so many out there who still haven't been given a chance. You are the lucky, fortunate ones who are actually given a chance to make it happen. So with that, what I'll do is, I'll just pass it back to Harun if there's anything else he wants to share, and thank you very much for your time. I wish you all the best.